Here's a question that sparked some real debate on the MusicGuru community page. Whose lyrics speak more meaningfully in 2025? Pink Floyd or Black Sabbath? We're getting a lot of votes, and the results are fascinating. Right now, Geezer Butler is ahead, but right behind him is the option that both are timeless in different ways, and right behind that is Roger Waters. So let's unpack and compare the two lyricists and also two world views. So Roger Waters is one of the few rock lyricists who turned political outrage into poetic performance art. He fused the rawness of beat poetry like Allen Ginsberg or Jack Kerouac with the self-examining intensity of confessional poetry like Sylvia Plath. And at his best, Roger Waters didn't just lecture, he created characters. On animals, the pigs, dogs, and sheep turned class warfare into modern fables. And on the wall, pink became a symbol of post-war trauma and isolation. That's where Roger Waters really soared. Not when he was being a lecturer, but when he built caricatures that reflected the ugly, wounded, and very human world around us. So it's a kind of political empathy and a cynicism wrapped up in performance art, and it makes sense. In a time when everyone's shouting opinions online, Roger Waters still feels like a reminder that anger can and should be made into art. Then there's Geezer Butler, Black Sabbath's quiet philosopher. If Roger Waters wrote from the head, Geezer Butler wrote from the soul and maybe even from the grave. Where Waters analyzed society, Geezer Butler confronted existence itself. Songs like War Pigs, Children of the Grave, and Into the Void aren't just doom-filled, they fuse the epic and the personal. They're sung from the trenches, from the conscience of someone staring down personal apocalypse and still hoping for redemption. That's probably why so many of channel viewers sided with Geezer Butler, because Butler's darkness isn't nihilistic, it's clarifying. He looked straight into war, madness, and spiritual collapse, and somehow found meaning in the ashes. In a world where people feel lost in algorithms and anxiety, his kind of honesty still hits very hard. But a third of voters voted that both are timeless in different ways. And you're right, both Waters and Butler tackled four huge questions of human existence: alienation, mental illness, war, and oppression. And they did it from opposite ends of the spectrum. Waters was like a razor-sharp observer dissecting power systems, but Geezer Butler was almost like a mystical poet translating cosmic dread into personal truth. And they meet somewhere in the middle, where the human condition breaks down. Then there's the 8% or so who voted and said neither music has moved on, and that's a fair point. Today's lyricists, from Kendrick Lamar to Billie Eilish to Sleep Token, explore similar emotional territory but with new language, new anxieties, and less distance between the self and the subject, and less distance between the performer and the audience. Still, it's interesting how many modern artists unknowingly echo Roger Waters and Geezer Butler, proving that their fingerprints are still clearly all over today's music. So, whose lyrics really speak to 2025? Roger Waters' poetic politics or Geezer Butler's spiritual realism? Or do you think the modern era has found new voices for all of those same truths? Drop your thoughts below and tell me. Music Guru here, asking you to help us on our march to 10,000 subscribers.